Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Breaking news, WABC.
Well, we are here today, and the only news is Iran. And we're here with Rita Cosby, my co-host, and in the studio, Judge Richard Weinberg, who is his birthday today, and we'll sing you a happy birthday later on.
What a gift you got, my friend. What a
gift. And a great judge. And we have George Venizelos, who was with the FBI for 27 years, and the head of New York for 4 years.
Right.
And a special guest.
And we're so happy to have our dear friend here with us in studio on such an incredible, historic moment. We have Israel's Consul General to New York, also a former minister there of innovation technology, also a radio guy too.
Exactly.
So we're so thrilled to have you.
That's the most important thing.
The most important thing. First of all,
Thank you for
General
having me again.
Ofir Akunis, we are so happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
We have tears in our eyes, I tell you, to look at you, my friend, and to see you here in studio with me and John and the guys. What are you thinking of this moment? Give us an update, because this is true history in the making.
Yeah, as you said, we are living in historical times. Finally, after almost 47 years, we are very closer than ever, to get rid from the Ayatollahs who ruined the world, who actually made the slogan, "Death to America, death to Israel, enough with them." And actually for the Iranian people as well. It's not only it's for us, of course, the threats against Israel, the threats against the Middle Satan, Europe. By the way, for the very first time, they fired Europe. Of course, Cyprus, the very first European country that they attacked yesterday.
The embassy there, yes, exactly.
The British base.
Yes.
The British base. And of course, all the American army bases in Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. They, and by the way, they said it. They said that they want to ruin the Western civilization and the American people and the Israelis and the others, and then try to do it. Now I think that, as I said, it's a process. The president said this morning that it will take for at least 4 weeks. I hope that it will be even less. I'm not sure. We just destroyed now their propaganda television station and radio station. We did it. The IDF actually forces did it right 10 minutes ago. Yeah. You asked for an update, so this is
that's breaking news.
That's breaking news. Yeah,
I guess you have one of those Blackberries that connects directly to Israel.
No, but it's important to know that all the propaganda, they spread the propaganda from this place, and the propaganda against all the American presidents, all the American people, Israel, the state of Israel, the Zionism, like they used to say. And we are close. We are not there. It will take a few.
Are all the Arab nations unified with Saudi Arabia?
I want to tell you something about the Arab nations. I can't, and I don't want to speak for them, but I think that they will be very happy if the Ayatollahs, the Saudis, the Emirates, the Bahrainians, and the Qataris even, we can talk about them, but even them, We'll be very happy if the Ayatollahs will not be there, and we'll see a new government, new regime in Tehran very soon.
In the Strait of Hormuz has been closed to shipping, especially oil shipping, because the insurance companies won't insure them.
Of course.
Are we committed to make sure that the Strait of Hormuz is going to be open eventually, whether it's next week, the week after, so the price of oil can come back down?
First of all, as far as I heard, 1 hour ago, the American army destroyed the Ayatollah's navy. Okay, I hope that they destroyed all of their battleships.
Yeah, 11 of them, by the way, in the Strait.
11.
Right, and that was in the Straits. There were 11 of them, and they got rid of all 11.
So for your question, it's the beginning. And of course they will be open. It reminds me when the Egyptians closed the way between the Indian Ocean to the land of Israel 50 years ago. We opened them. We beat them then. Then we signed the peace treaty. By the way, this is a very, very good opportunity to talk about the future of the region. When they will not be there, the Ayatollahs, the Hezbollah will not be there as well because they will not have any money. Okay, the Houthis and Hamas. So then we can see finally the new Middle East and totally, a good, let's say, a totally different situation in our region.
Are the British committed now that they were bombed by Iran?
It's a very good question. I don't want to say bad words about Western Europe. I think that it's a very strange policy by the Western European governments. I don't understand their attitude to the Ayatollahs. I'm not talking about the French government because we know that actually they released Ayatollah Khomeini, the first Ayatollah released by the French government in 1979.
Right.
That was the beginning. That was the beginning of the current problem. So I don't want to talk about the Europeans. They need to wake up because the Iranians, they have the ability to use their intercontinental rockets against Europe. As we talked about Cyprus, that was only the first one. Now Greece is there, Italy is there, and all the other Western Europe countries.
I want to ask you about, you talked about sort of what's next. And the one name I keep hearing all the time, Mr. Consul General, is Ali Larijani.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He, for our audience, he's still alive. He was the one he was not hidden. I mean, extraordinary, by the way, the fact that 49, I had tears in my eyes when I heard what happened. And this guy still seems to be, a stalwart, diehard, with the regime. What's next? Obviously, there's more strikes to come. And we just heard from Marco Rubio a few minutes ago, who said that the hardest hits are yet to come.
That's what the president said in the morning in the White House. Yes, they are trying to, survive. It will be very difficult for them to survive. I'm talking about the Ayatollahs. So you mentioned one of them. Most of them are not with us anymore. Thanks God. Okay? They are not with us anymore. They did terrible things to American troops, to Israelis, to Europeans during the last 47 years. All these people who are not with us anymore. So of course that you can find, another Ayatollahs or leaders, but most of them are not with us anymore, and it's good for the Western world and the Western civilization.
Judge Weinberg.
I'm very concerned, though, that the Revolutionary Guard is not going to give up, and they're 200,000 strong. What is it going to take to break the Revolutionary Guard and to have some common sense and some decency out of Iran's leadership?
So, well, Judge, as I said, it's a process. The president said that it will be between 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. After 47 years, we can wait another month until let's say, around the beginning of the spring. We talked about the spring, so maybe it will be around there.
I want to talk also, Mr. Consul General, about just the extraordinary intel, because it just came out that the CIA got information, and that President Trump, just after 3:30 on Friday, said, okay, we're going to take the hit. I mean, to take a hit at daytime, it was Israel that carried out that hit. I mean, to me, it's one of the greatest military attacks, I think, in world history. And you think about the fact to take out the Ayatollah and 48 others. Just talk about the intelligence and the superiority and the message to those who wish to do America and Israel harm.
I think that was one of the biggest surprises ever. And we changed our attitude. Everybody was thinking, by the way, the Ayatollahs themselves, that it will be in the middle of the night. We did it. I want to say something. I think that the collaboration between the Israeli army and the American army is in peak of all times. It's awesome. And we are doing it together. I'm so very happy that we are doing it together. We are saving the world now. The United States of America, I told you, I came here maybe 2 or 3 weeks after I started my mission. And I told you that we talked about the Iranian threats and about the fact that they want to destroy us all, and that I am a big admirer of the American culture and the American nation. I'm a big admirer of the Americans right now. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the President of the United States, the current administration of the United States of America. Who is a leader? I want to ask you maybe to close this conversation. And I want the listeners to ask themselves, who is a leader? A leader is a prime minister like Winston Churchill. A leader is a president like President Donald Trump. A leader is a prime minister like Prime Minister Netanyahu. If you're afraid from someone, you can't lead. If you want to be a leader, you must take the toughest decisions, not the easiest decisions. Not to say, okay, I will stay out of it. It's not my business. It's far away. The oil prices are, in the average prices. No. If you want to save the world and to be a leader, an historical leader, you should take the decisions. And I think that, and it wasn't by accident, by the way, that I mentioned Winston Churchill, because he was, alone. And the Israeli prime minister talked about Iran in 1996, 1997. No one understood him then. What is it talking about? Now we are talking about Yasser Arafat. Disgusting. You have the PLO, the peace process with the Palestinians, and all the other, never mind, I can't say because now I'm a diplomat, that actually ruined the Middle East. Yeah, the terrorists that we brought to our region. Now he talked about Iran then. Now everybody can see the reality and the results. Well,
Consul General Ofir Akunis, thank you so much for
having me. I suppose that we'll meet again soon.
Sense.
Yes.
I suppose that we'll meet again soon. I have a feeling.
Well, you're welcome anytime.
You're always welcome here. This is your home away from home.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and good evening
to
you and to all the listeners.
Thank you. Bravo to Israel. Bravo to America. Thank
no
you.
Doubt.
Thank you. Great to have you here. Thank you.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best our nation has to offer, especially when it comes to healthcare. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families' health. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.